This fork is so fun to rally hard. It really is a proper trail fork that just happens to weigh the same amount as a cross-country race fork that you'd never want to ride this hard.
My name's GuyKes. I've been a professional mountain bike tester for nearly 25 years, and today I'm testing the brand new RockShox SID Ultimate. So, what's new about new SID? And the answer is basically everything besides the name. The big difference with the chassis I'm using here, which is SID rather than SID SL, is that it now uses 35mm legs. So that's the same dimension stanchion as Pike, Lyric and Yarry, the properly aggressive forks in the RockShox range. And as you know, a bigger tube makes for a stiffer fork, and that's what this is, a lot stiffer than the 32mm SIDs of old. But also, because they've recessed the internals right up inside that fork and chased pretty much every gram they can out of the externals and the internals, so shorter bushing bulge at the top, slim down crown, slim down arch. Crown's actually machined and anodized. Anodizing's lighter than paint. The adjusters have all been stripped down, so we've just got a tiny Allen key now doing the rebound, which you can pull out and use to adjust the SID locks rear shock. And you've got this tiny little compression adjuster now, super minimalist, and that means the weight of this fork is now down to just 1,508 grams for this sample I've got here, with the steerer cut down to 190mm. So that's over 300 grams lighter than a 29er Pike and 160 grams lighter than its main adversary, Fox 34 step cast. So that means it's a fork you can properly attack the climbs on. It's a genuine super light race weight fork, but now, because of those bigger legs, that means you certainly don't have to back off on the descent, because the control really is remarkable on this. I mean, previously Fox really ruled when it came to short travel suspension control, but this race day charger damper is just absolutely awesome. So smooth, really well controlled, even though they shrunk the oil volume down and taken over 100 grams out of the damper compared to the Pike. It's just really well controlled, even on longer descents. Don't seem to be any heating up issues. And also, they've changed the port position where the positive and negative spring recharge on this debonair spring. So they've changed it so that the piston actually sits in it at static. So it makes the fork a lot more progressive, and it means you've got yes, more usable stroke for chasing anyone down the trails, even a couple of deer here at Stainburn. I guess I'll talk about price. It is relatively dear, 900 odd quid in the UK, similar in euros and dollars, but this is the absolute top of the line fork. There's also Charger RC equipped SID Select Plus, which uses exactly the same chassis all the way through, apart from that different damper. And there's some really nice practical touches as well. You get the same cassette tool, top cap removal, but for super easy maintenance, they've now included a little bleed port on top, so you can fully flush through the damper without disassembling the fork. Because obviously it is a new damper, it is running a tiny amount of oil. So any bubbles or issues in there are going to cause the problem. I certainly not to say I've had any, and also pretty much everything in the fork, in terms of the SKF seals, in terms of the Maxima fluid, all the 35mm hardware, it's all really good, proven RockShox kit. I mean, unsurprisingly, for a 1500 gram fork, there is some flex, both rotationally and fore and aft, but it's just a super lively and agile feel, and the amount of grip you get from that bit of compliance is absolutely fantastic, and it still certainly tracks accurately enough to let you hit the most aggressive lines and hold on, but also just let you pop and weave the bike around just noticeably more at the front. It's just such a great fork to ride. This is a proper bit of me, is this SID. It really is. And I don't care if that makes me Nancy. And not only is it light, because you've got that slimmed down race day damper shifting less oil, it's so smooth. This has to be smoothest RockShox fork I've ridden. This pretty much makes it the smoothest fork I've ridden in telescopic terms, and it just hoovers up horrible rough slow speed sections like that normally just beat the momentum out of you, especially at the end of an epic ride or a race. They're the ones that catch you out, dab you and lose you those vital meters. But on this fork, it just flows over them like water. And then if it's a little too big, just hops and pops around over them beautifully as well. It really does make climbing an absolute breeze. And of course, if you want to go super light, there's the 32mm legged SID SL, which is another 150 grams lighter than this fork. You know, and it's not just a racer's fork. I mean, yes, the lockout is a proper hard lockout, no mistake about that. And there's no sort of sweep on the lever, it goes straight from fully open to fully hard lockout. There's no intermediate setting like there is with a standard charger damper. But that suppleness off the top means absolutely fantastic grip. And then, because of the way that Debonair spring's been re-engineered, there's loads of support in the mid-stroke. So when you switch from getting fantastic grip on loamy, rooty, natural stuff like this, and start hitting harder berms, higher loadings, sending the fork and landing it like that, there's just so much support and, you know, control to drive with. I mean, bloody hell, it's Day of the Wildlife today, but this fork is so fun to rally hard. It really is a proper trail fork that just happens to weigh the same amount as a cross-country race fork that you'd never want to ride this hard. But that means you can just send it that bit further without shirking from the bigger drops, or, hey, look at that, not a moment's hesitation or lack of control as you're nosing in there, just so poised, so controlled. I mean, I've tried it with a bottom out token in, it comes without one, but there are two in the box, so I gave one a try and nah, too progressive. And the other thing I'd say is the pressures listed
on the back of the fork leg are just a generic RockShox chart, and they're too soft for this fork by about 15 psi. So if that's the case on production ones, watch out for that. And I haven't been able to check the Trailhead tuning app that RockShox do for this fork, because officially it isn't out yet, so this serial number doesn't match anything online. So just check pressures before you do start riding it hard. There are some compromises to get the weight down. You haven't got that full adjustability of the charger damper. It is just that lockout switch. Currently it only comes in one size, 44mm short offset 29er, but it'll take a decent tyre, and like I say, it's a proper trail fork with a fender in the box, and it's rigged for 180mm rotor. The standard, you actually can't put a 160 on this. You know, it's a proper aggro rider's fork, and that's exactly how it feels on the trail. Just that lovely, warm, grippy, yeah, light enough to be properly explosive and just accurate enough to thread every line you need to hit, and then blow out the far side and float the jumps. This is just such an awesome, aggressive XC or lightweight trail fork. I mean, that's the kind of ride riding I absolutely love. A proper piece of me, this. Bloody love it.
So, the only trouble with this fork really is I just want to keep riding it, and now it's almost got too dark to do a tech talk round. But as you'll see from the rave video on TNFC, it even works at night. But before it does get dark, I'm just going to talk around some tech details on the fork. So, like I say, 35mm stanchion now, only comes in 120mm, only comes in 44mm short offset, as you see here. But it's a proper trail fork, so 180mm rotor, standard, straight bolt-on, minimal weight. You get this optional bolt-on fender here, you know, decent coverage, stops it spraying up. I mean, there's a slight weight loss there, it's just a clip-in mount for the hose, but I haven't had any problem holding it securely. And you can see on the top cap there, it's the same cassette tool detailing top cap as they use on Pike. Over on the other side, there's a lot more work gone on. It's a much more heavily machined away top cap here, and this lockout lever is a proper hard lockout. You know, flick that on and there's no movement at all. And that little port there, that's no kind of damping adjustment. That's for actually bleeding the damper. This super small race day charger damper obviously needs keeping in 100% fettle because it's not working with much oil. So that's your bleed port there, so you can fully bleed the damper without pulling the fork apart. As you can see, the crown is slimmer, doesn't kind of bow out as wide as Pike does. These little seal heads are shorter, and they've got an SKF seal in there. That's new, sort of minimal friction seal in there. And the SID now uses Maxima suspension fluid, which is what they've been using in Pike and Lyric up to this point. So super fluid. I mean, like I say, there's a little bit, as you'd expect for a 1500 gram fork, there's a little bit fore and aft flex, a little bit of rotational flex, but certainly nothing bad at all. You know, it's a proper hard riding trail fork. I'd say it's pretty, I mean, I've not tested them on a rig yet, but I'd say it's pretty much on par with the 34. But this fork's significantly lighter, and like significantly lighter than the Pike, and runs a standard Maxell 50mm axle in there, and it's boost, and there's no cutaway on the leg. The only real sort of little miniature detailing bit is that's the rebound adjuster there, so it's actually a tiny little Allen key that pulls out and plugs back in. It's something, to be fair, RockShox have been doing. It's a bit of a fight to get back in. It's something that RockShox have been doing for a while, but you know, that's the smallest and lightest incarnation I've probably seen of it. And you can also use it to adjust the SID Lux rear shock, which is the partner shock to this fork. Anyway, it's definitely getting dark now, so just like to say thank you very much for watching. Thanks to RockShox for the loan of the test fork. They haven't paid for this video. They did send me some socks. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for sponsoring the site as a whole, making it possible for me to make edits like this. Thanks to Camelback, Smith, Gore, 100%, Endura and Physique for the kit. Thanks to you guys for watching. Please share, please click for notifications, tell your mates about the channel if you like what I'm doing. If you really might like what I'm doing, consider sponsoring me on Patreon. I've been GuyKes, this has been GuyKes TV, and that is RockShox brand new benchmark rowdy XC, down country, whatever you want to call it. Super light, but super fun. They really have sorted it with this SID. Amazing unit.